sides of the aisle take fiscal responsibility seriously. And the chances of that right now are low. That's our opinion. We welcome yours. Our email address is editorial@randyradio.com.
News time is 9 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday. Hey, good Friday morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and brought to you by Connexus, providing fiber internet to Clinton. Learn more at DeWittDailyNews.com. Well, it appears the lights have gone down here at the Big Red Barn on this Friday morning. How about that?
It maybe seemed like a very big decision.
Minor injuries were reported at the hospital. Israel, meantime, carried out an attack on a heavy...
Very good. How about that? All right. News time, 10 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Friday. It's been nearly a year since Clinton's strategic plan has been in place, but very little of it has been acted on. Mayor Helen Michalossi hopes to change that, and that begins this month. The mayor is going to begin meeting with the stakeholders of the plan to make sure that what is in place still makes sense for the city.
Right now, we're pulling apart that plan to see is it still workable the way it is. So pretty soon, I'm going to say maybe July, August, we're going to start actually sitting down with groups and saying, this is what we thought when the plan was developed. Is this still where we are? What are we doing about bringing together a retailers association, for example? What's the next step? So now it's time to pull this apart and say, where are we going? And let's get going. Mm-hmm. If we're gonna do this, then what's the first step? And then take that first step. That strategic plan was approved quite some time ago. So now we need to look at the plan and say, yep, okay, this still makes sense just the way it is. So now it's time to look at the timelines, right, that were developed in and the goals and the objectives and say, if these are still true and valid just the way they are, now we start holding ourselves accountable to start working on implementing that strategic plan as it may need to be tweaked.
As the process plays out, the mayor says it is important to communicate with the city council and the community about where they are and how it is going.
I think we're going to have a meeting the first couple of weeks of July is my hope, to pull folks together who were part city folks and maybe law enforcement and financial and all the folks together to say, here's what we all agreed to back then. Mm-hmm. For this strategic plan. What does this look like right now? And let's start talking about it, including they put in the strategic plan, a new city hall, a new fire station, new digs for the police department. So what does that actually look like? We have to have the pragmatic conversation now, Seth, that says, what is the actual need here? Mm-hmm. And how we stepping this out? It's great to say we're going to have all these things. How are we going to pay for this? What's our timeline, really our timeline for this to get this done? And then I need to start reporting in a few weeks at the council meeting on where we are on that strategic plan. We need to be sharing with the community, hey, since the last meeting or once a month, I'm going to say, hey, this is where we are. This is what's been done. Because the community, they have a right to know where we are and that we're making some progress on this plan. Mm-hmm.
Marketing Clinton to the area and beyond is of particular interest to Mayor Michalossi. She believes there are some great attractions to bring people to Clinton and DeWitt County and wants to showcase those.
A big part of what's of interest to me is the overall presentation of our community to the rest of the world, Seth. So it's about showcasing our community, bringing more visitors here, which in turn will then support our businesses we currently have. Mm-hmm. It's showing off what Clinton has to offer. and doing that in a tangible way. So I've been talking this week with a lot of folks and gaining a lot of support of volunteers to say the entrance to Clinton in all directions, it says, "Welcome to Clinton," needs to look like we mean it.
Mhm.
And so that means all those flower beds that have had nothing done in all those areas, there's a lot of folks stepping up and saying, "Hey, I'd like to help do something. Can I help with that?"
Mhm.
So tangible things. We say it, we have some action. You can have meetings all day long, but you have your meeting, and then what does that look like?
According to Mayor Michelossi, to keep the process from getting bogged down, accountability is going to be the key. Starting July 1st, DeWitt County will have a new public transportation system. Tim Gadberry, director of Piattran Public Transportation, that's Piatt County Public Transportation, or Piattran, says they've operated in Piatt County for over 40 years, meeting the community's transportation needs.
Well, Route 1.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, we are a county transportation entity. We are public transportation. We are a door-to-door demand response. That just means, it requires calls and scheduling rides ahead of time. Piattran has been around for about 43 years. I think we started back in 1982.
Mhm.
I haven't been here that long, but the transportation agency has.
Starting again Tuesday, July 1st, Piattran will become the public transportation service offered in DeWitt County. Gadberry explains you can contact them on the phone to make those appointments. He notes they are also partnering with Encore to provide morning and evening transportation for those individuals.
Well, like I said, we are public transportation agency, so anybody can ride. We take people to doctor's appointments. We take people to the library. We take people to the grocery store, basically whatever they need. And what we ask is every rider, we do require what's called a rider intake form.
Mhm.
That is something that's available. You can find it on our website at piattran.org, or you're welcome to call the office. We can mail them to you. The number at the office here is area code 217-762-7821. Our phones ring from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. But yeah, once we get that rider intake form filled out, we get folks put into our system. And then we do require 24 hours notice for a ride. We have a fantastic call out system that people can receive a phone call at 4 p.m. the day before for a reminder for the next day. Mm-hmm. We also have a call out system that is a 15-minute on the way call. The 24-hour notice is really, really important, because if we try to start taking same-day rides, it can affect everybody else's schedule.
Right.
And we try to stay on time. Sometimes it's, inclement weather can slow us down a little bit. The trains here in DeWitt or Piatt County are notorious for putting us a little behind. But other than that, like I said, our goal is to be there on time when we're scheduled. So that's why we require the 24-hour notice.
The opportunity for Piattran to expand to DeWitt County was a no-brainer, and Gadberry points out they recently acquired additional vehicles for their fleet, making the transition to DeWitt County that much easier.
We've got 21 vehicles total right now. We were awarded 7 brand new vehicles this year through the CVP program through the state of Illinois, which we were extremely excited about. They've all been labeled and are just waiting to hit the roads. So total 18 buses and 3 minivans. We do have 17 employees, so we are a somewhat small transportation agency. We operate basically from 6 o'clock to 5 o'clock, Monday through Friday. And we are extremely excited to come into DeWitt County. All of our drivers, all of our employees know just how important public transportation is for the residents of Piatt County. So when the opportunity came about to be able to expand our services to come into DeWitt County, it was a no-brainer for us. The last thing I would want for anybody is to depend on public transportation and not to have it.
For more information on the services and fares of Piattran, visit piattran.org. That's Piattran.org. You can also find Piattran on Facebook, or that number one more time, 217-762-7821. News time is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday. Residents in central Illinois know a dangerous corridor in Logan County has taken the lives of several motorists over the years, and a local lawmaker is calling on the Illinois Department of Transportation and the Illinois State Police to look into this. On the WHOW Morning Show Thursday, State Representative Sally Turner told Regional Radio she has noticed Route 121 between Mount Pulaski and Lincoln has seen its share of serious vehicle accidents, some fatal, and she wants something done about it.
Well, Route 121 from Lincoln to Decatur, that's all my district, we've had so many accidents. And most recently we had an accident, I guess it's been about maybe 3 to 4 weeks ago, that two people died. People have to slow down on 121. You can't see in no passing zones. It's terrible. You're so right. I've asked Department of Transportation to give me a spreadsheet as to how many accidents have we had in the last 10 years and how many of them were fatal. So I think that's something we need to look into, because something's wrong, whether it is we need to slow that traffic down or put more no passing zones. Something has to happen, because we cannot have this continue to occur to our citizens driving back and forth.
The Lincoln Republican says the area between Lincoln and Mount Pulaski is particularly treacherous. She says the terrain is just not great for passing, and many motorists get in a hurry in that area.
I'll say that I've noticed in the last 5 years, the accidents that I see and I note are from Mount Pulaski to Lincoln. And I would venture to guess that's because there's not a lot of places to pass in those areas. And there's so much tailgating, and it's just dangerous. Anyway, I've asked the state police to pay more attention to that area as well, and they are happy to do so. I'm hoping that'll help slow things down and save lives. You know, you leave 5 minutes earlier, you'll get there in plenty of time. Save your life and someone else's.
Route 121 connects Lincoln and Decatur, and Senator Turner says between the traffic heading to those two communities plus the agricultural use it gets, it is a very busy road and is encouraging motorists to slow down and be patient. Technology can be a tool that's used for good, but it can also be used as a weapon. We're more connected through technology than ever before, and while convenient, there are many ways that a domestic abuser can use technology to control its victim. Andrea Coker, Director of Services with Willow Tree Missions in Piatt County, explains almost every piece of technology has tracking capabilities, a camera on it, or is connected to an app on our phones.
Yeah, it's like everything else. Technology is an awesome tool for us to use, but at the same time, it becomes also a tool for abusers to use. Also, like literally as I'm standing here, I'm thinking, even giving this information, it's like becoming outdated as I talk, because the world of AI is going to continue to change everything as well. So I was like, am I giving a presentation today that's super outdated already? But anyway, here's what I know for sure, as of today. So truly, technology makes our lives a lot easier. The downfall is that we also tend to be connected together, especially whenever we're in a relationship. Looking at my own life. So we, are cheap. So we have like my entire family's on one phone plan. Like my parent, my mom, my in-laws, my husband, all of us, so that we can like do shared life. Like the downfall of that is that we're all connected, literally. Like we share the same data and whatever. While none of us care what each other do, I have the power to see it if I so chose to. And that's just with phones. Other kind of like common connected devices are things like Apple AirTags, which people are putting on everything, Alexas and Google Plays in people's houses, cars. Our cars are connected oftentimes to apps these days. Even our thermostats, our electrical outlets, stereos in our televisions are connected to apps. For a long time, security cameras and motion detected lights and things like that But now those can activate each other and be controlled by our phones completely to be turned on and turned off. Also, locks on our doors, our appliances, general cameras like hidden around our homes, formerly known as nanny cams, kind of the same thing though, like intent to be hidden. Our pet feeders, the like automatic feeders for pets, which often have cameras, and even toys that kids have. So all of those, like, independently are great. They can do so many cool things, but whenever you're living in a world of DV, every single one of them becomes a pretty major issue or is a threat.
A major component of domestic abuse is an abuser is having power and control over a victim. Technology can be used to make a victim fear that their abuser is always watching them, even when they are apart.
One big component of domestic violence is power and control, which we've talked about a lot. So a big piece to maintain power and control is to make sure people are constantly living in fear. If you're living in fear, you're on edge, you're more likely to act in a way that your abuser wants you to act. It's a controlling factor to have someone constantly living in kind of this fear. So if all of a sudden you're watching TV and your TV turns off at the same time that the locks on your door start to spin, at the same time that your Alexa starts to play a song that you didn't select, there's this fear and this uneasiness that comes with knowing someone else is listening, someone else is watching and controlling the things that you're doing or the things that you have.
Safety planning is an important part of getting out of a domestic violence relationship, and Coker indicates the same is true when you are being tracked. It's important not to alert an abuser that you're taking steps to end the tracking, or else the situation could become dangerous.
So a big thing is that whenever you are being tracked, there's kind of two ways to look at it. Whenever someone's using technology to keep tabs on you, it is really important to be aware of it. And even more important, to not necessarily act on it. So there's a big component of safety planning, as we've talked about many, many times, of getting out of a relationship. The same comes for being tracked on technology. If you cold turkey start changing every password, ending all tracking opportunities, the abusers they're going to react. They're going to know. They're going to have some sort of reaction to that. We know that the most dangerous time in a relationship is whenever the relationship ends, ultimately because they've lost the control. They're trying to regain that control. They'll do anything to get to control that. So ending someone's access to you that they've had freely can also spark a pretty major reaction that may not necessarily be healthy or safe in any way.
We'll have more with Coker on technology's effects on domestic violence next week on regional radio. In the meantime, find more about the services offered by Willow Tree Missions by visiting willowtreemissions.org. You can also find them on Facebook. News time is 26 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday. We've got more to wrap things up coming up on the morning show.
Looking for a new Silverado? This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. We have a good selection of new Silverado inventory. We have Silverados in 1500s, 2500s, and 3500s with several trim levels, custom, LT, RST, LTZ, and yes, even high countries. All our inventory is priced for our summer savings season. Baum Chevrolet Buick. Together, let's drive. BaumChevroletBuick.com right from the start.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 27 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. The Christian County Health Department says it has detected West Nile virus in mosquitoes in Pana. It's the first such case in the county this year. Environment Health staff collected the sample June 16th. The Illinois Department of Public Health says no humans have tested positive so far in 2025. The Illinois Department of Public Health also notes most people with West Nile virus experience nothing more than a fever and headache, and some will notice no symptoms at all. In rare cases, though, more frequently Unfortunately, for elderly people, the virus can cause West Nile encephalitis. This is a serious disease that affects the brain and can be deadly. Symptoms of the disease include fever, headache, rashes, swollen nodes, conjunctivitis, eye irritation, disorientation, and muscle weakness. Dr. Chad Anderson is the public health administrator and urges people to use insect repellent and remove standing water areas to protect themselves from the virus. Warm, humid conditions like what the area has seen lately are ripe for mosquitoes to emerge. The Christian County Health Department will continue to monitor and test for West Nile virus. Get more information at cchdil.org. News time is 29 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday. Coverage of news is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Brought to you by Connexus, providing fiber internet to Clinton. Learn more at DeWittDailyNews.com.